This unit is all about probability. And the place we're going to start is distinguishing counting from probability itself. Now, counting, we're all pretty familiar with counting. Pretty straightforward, right? 1, 2, 3, so forth. You could even include 0. You want to start counting at 0. Probability is all about fractions and decimals and things like that. And the smallest you can get is 0. There's a 0% chance that something will happen, a probability of 0. And the highest you can get is 1, 100% chance, or 1. If you think about percents, it's percents between 0 and 100% are going to be between the numbers 0 and 1. So it's kind of like that with probability. Now, when you see the word counting, another word you'll often see is how many ways. So how many ways can you do this? Or how many ways can you do that? And that's when you're counting. You're always going to get some kind of number. Probability, you're going to get something over the total. So we'll look at a quick example. Here's a die, and if you look at a typical die, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And it has the numbers 1 through 6 on those sides. If I were to ask you how many ways can you roll an odd number on a die, I would be counting. So I would say, oh, I can roll a 1, that's an odd number, not a 2, that's even. 3 is an odd number, not a 4, and then 5 is an odd number. So I can do it 1, 2, 3 ways. 3 ways. When you think about probability, so probability, I'll just put prob here. You're thinking about how many ways out of the total. So ways over total. So the ways you can do what you're trying to do over the total ways you can do things. And in this case, how many numbers are there on a die? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 total outcomes, and each of them in this case is equally likely. If you roll a die, you're just as likely to get a 2 as you are to get a 5. And that makes a big difference. That's actually a very important distinction here. Most of the cases will look like are fairly simple, where everything has the same likelihood of happening, but we'll talk about it when we get to some different cases later. So for now, there's 6 total ways to do things. That's going to be in the denominator of our fraction. And then 3 ways that we can do it getting an odd. So the probability of getting an odd is 3 out of 6. And we all know with our fractions we can reduce that to 1/2. So the probability of rolling an odd number on a die is 1/2, or 50%, or 0.5. So the difference between counting and probability is that counting, you just figure out the number of ways you can do it. Probability, you figure out that over the total possible outcomes, in this case 6.